Hello, 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 Facebook. Your boy, Mr. Turnaround, aka Tenacious T. Been a minute since I went live, but I don't want to hold everybody up too long. I want to give each and every one of you all an opportunity to come jump in on this live. I'll let your boy know. But one of the things I just want to do is just speak my mind, if that's all right with you all, because something has really got a hold of me, and for quite a minute I've been sitting on it, been trying to want to go live and talk about it, but I haven't had the chance to do it because at the time, the timing was very off to say it live on Facebook or any other social media platform that I be on. And one of the things I'm just going to do is just, in general, just speak my mind, and I do hope and pray that if this applies to you, then let me know. But I'm just going to free myself up on some things and just say it. And if you feel offended by it, then I'm going to go ahead and I apologize, but I'm going to get it off for me. And I don't know how y'all feel about it, but I'm going to go ahead and just speak my mind, okay? Now, one of the things I'm going to talk about is how some of these, I guess, modern women that y'all see on social media a lot, they want to talk about the top tier or the top 1% in men that they want in their caliber. I had a young lady try to say how insinuating I was for me to sit there and try to take up for the brothers, but not take up for the sisters. I beg to differ because I've always stood up and tried to fight and defend for the sisters from a man's standpoint, but when it comes to me doing it for the brothers, then there are some modern women in Western society, they have a heck of a problem with the decision that I've made to do that. It's not fair that I defend the sisters all the time and not take up for our brothers sometime. See, brothers be going through the same thing too. And one of the things I talk about, whether it's in a relationship or just in general, is all about human communication. Sometimes both parties have to be willing to compromise. And what I mean by that is, when it comes to human communication is based on three things. Number one, human communication is 15% based on what the individual says and how they say it. Number two, 35% concerning the tone that the individual uses. And lastly, 50% on the body language. So if anyone is in content with that with regard to the 35% the tone that either man or woman use and the 50% body language, which most women will do, I find it inconclusive, but yet I'm not surprised most of the women that are modern these days instead of traditional, because the dating world has changed. And you can blame that on the feminist movement, because the feminist movement has actually ruined that for a lot of women. Now, I'm not saying women that still have a man. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how some of these young 20-something-year-old modern women think that they can be strong and independent and don't need a man, and they sit there and they wonder where in the devil are all of the good men. And when it comes time to get a real good man in their lives, all of a sudden they're not found. So when their car breaks down, they're going to have to call a mechanic and have him to fix it, but I'm going to have to pay for the labor and the services that are rendered to him. If the toilet is broken at the house, she's going to have to call a plumber in order for the toilet to be functioning the way it was. And of course, she's going to have to come out of pocket when it comes to rendering his services that the plumber has charged. So once again, human communication in general is based on three things. 15% based on what the person says and how they say it. 35% concerning the tone that they use, and another 50% on the body language. So if a man is talking to a woman in his regular voice and he doesn't have to yell, but a woman has to yell in order to get her point across, in my honest opinion, that is gaslighting. There are some women that'll do that and they wind up becoming toxic towards the man, and that gives the indication for a man to just run for the hills. How is everybody doing today? How you doing, Garen Jones? God bless you. But anyway, sometimes I have to stand up for what's right for our brothers, just like I do for the sisters. There are still some good men around, but I guess some of these young 20-something tenderoni females don't seem to get a clue about a man who's willing to do anything and everything for them. See, I often like to say it's one thing that a man protects and provides for his woman and for his kids if he's got any with them, but it's another when women want to expect way too much for the man to provide them with that luxury lifestyle instead of earning it rather than taking the easy way out. I know some men that can relate to this, and they have to understand it's not always about the cash and prizes that these women are so desirous of getting like they just won on a doggone game show. I get sick and tired of women doing that like they're entitled to everything. And I'm not saying men don't do this as well. There are some that'll do it, but I'm talking mostly in general about our sisters that need to grow up and do a little better in terms of maturing. If you want to talk about getting you a man that's going to love you for you, you need to love yourself first in order for a man to love you or in order for you to love that man back. See, self-love has to start with you. Now, like I said, I'm just speaking from my mind, and I don't know how y'all going to take it. It could go either way. But I've said this time and time again, and I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. Human communication is 15% based on what the individual says and how they say it, 35% concerning the tone that they use, and another 50% on the body language. So when I look at a lot of modern women on social media a lot of times, now that they're in their 20s, I guess you can talk about this Generation Z type women that'll come on social media and want to be so modern and don't want to learn the traditional values in the near future of becoming a future wife to the husband. That's the problem that we have with this generation of young women now. They're so caught up in wanting that luxury lifestyle. And then another thing about it is there are some of these women that are in their early to mid-20s, they love talking about the bad guys instead of the good ones. In other words, they want the bad guys that are in jail, that's got a criminal record on them, and they can't help but become a prison girlfriend or a prison wife. So what they have to do is continue to hold it down for the man because there is no telling how long he's got time in jail. And I hate that for our young sisters because they fail to realize there are other good men out there that's got it better than these bad guys that are on the prison cells or on the docket, if you will. And most of the time, these young 20-something-year-olds, they don't get a clue. And by the time they reach their early 30s and so on, they hit the wall. Now, I'm going to say this one more time. Human communication is based on three things. 15% is based on what the person says and how they say it. I'll be right there. I'll be right with you. Human communication is 15% based on what they say and how they say it, 35% concerning the tone that they use, and another 50% on the body language. And if you find that individual with the 35% the tone that they use directly at you and the 50% body language, then that individual is 85% the problem and 15% the solution. I said what's on my mind, but at the same time, that's also your theoretical thought for the day going live on Facebook today. I'm your boy, Mr. Turnaround, aka Tenacious T. Y'all be blessed. Stay safe out there. Team Turnaround out.